ladies and gentlemen, to our Northwest Arkansas Audio Theater presentation for the Thanksgiving season, The Landing of the Pilgrims. The landing we speak of happened 400 years ago in 1620. This script from 1926 gives us the story from the perspective of history as it was taught in this country almost 100 years ago, 300 years after the landing. There is no concern for the viewpoints of anyone not male or European. However, it does throw light on the first written governmental setup that we know of on this continent, one which influenced later history. The Mayflower Compact had influence, we are told, on the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Now, let us hear how this compact came to be.
It was in the month of December in 1620 that the Pilgrim Fathers landed on Plymouth Rock and proceeded to establish the first permanent white settlement in New England. But the Pilgrims had not set out for America to establish their new home in New England. Far from it. They had a charter permitting their settlement in the northern portion of the Virginia plantation. And it was toward Virginia that the little band of passengers aboard the Mayflower thought they were heading. The story of how they happened to come to the stern and rock-bound coast of New England, and of how they happened to stay there and carve out of the wilderness a great commonwealth, is told here. Let us begin our story in Leyden, Holland, where for some 11 years the Pilgrims have lived in exile from England, driven out because of their religious faith. It is early in the year 1620, and John Robinson, who is the pastor and leader of the Pilgrims, is talking to John Carver, who is one of the elders of the church.
No word yet from Elder Brewster.
Nay, not a word. I fear me that he and Master Cushman have found it impossible to raise such a large sum of money.
If we delay much longer, King James may repent himself of his generosity in allowing us to settle in Virginia.
I begin to fear that we are doomed to spend the rest of our days in Holland.
Nay, nay, do not lose heart. Jehovah will find a way for his children. Remember, the children of Israel wandered for 40 years in the wilderness before they found rest in the promised land.
I'll not lose faith, Pastor Robinson. I know a way will be found for us.
Will you see who's at the door?
Of course, Pastor. Good day to you, sir.
Does Master John Robinson dwell here?
Aye, will you enter?
Thank you.
Pastor Robinson, this gentleman would speak with you.
Good morrow to you, sir.
Are you Pastor Robinson, then?
I am. And to what do I owe the honor of this visit, Master?
My Kieft. My name is Wilhelm Kieft. At your service.
I am honored, Master Kieft. Allow me to present Master Carver.
Thank you. And now to the business that brought me here. It is rumored around Leyden that you and your company are about to leave Leyden. Is that true?
There is, as yet, nothing certain, Master Kieft.
But you are planning on an emigration to the New World, are you not?
It has been talked of, certainly, but thus far we have not found the means.
Well, Master Robinson, perhaps I can find them for you.
Indeed.
Tell us, Master Kieft.
I am a member of the Dutch West India Company, which possesses a large tract of land in the New World.
Indeed, I did not know that.
Yes. So the discovery of a countryman of yours, Henry Hudson, who sailed under our flag. We own the country from the Great South River to the Great North River, where I am told the climate is healthful and pleasant, and the land is rich and bountiful.
And what do you propose to us?
My company is prepared to furnish you land on which to found a colony and capital to carry you and your people there and support you until you have made yourselves self-supporting.
And for this, you would expect of us what?
Some small share of your profits.
Yes, and what else?
Nothing, except that you would live under the Dutch flag and make our claim to the land secure.
Your offer is generous, Master Kieft.
And you make no other conditions than those you mentioned.
None, I assure you.
Can you offer them in writing so that our people may consider them?
Indeed, yes. If you are interested, my company will make you a written offer within a fortnight.
We are interested, Master Kieft, very much so.
Good. You shall receive our conditions as soon as I can arrange it. Good day to you.
Good day, sir, and thank you.
Jehovah has answered our prayers. The way is open, mayhap.
Is it not a generous offer?
Generous, aye, but still,
Well,
I like it not.
indeed, and why not?
Why should the Dutch West India Company make us such a generous offer?
Why, indeed, but that we may establish for them a colony in the New World.
Aye, a colony will give them a stronger hold upon a disputed land.
Do you think the land is disputed?
I know but a little of the New World. I know not even where the great North River or the great South River may be, but only this I know. King James and his Virginia Company would take it much amiss that having a patent under the lands in Virginia that we turn to the Dutch and settle under their flag.
And what has King James ever done for us but persecute us, drive us from our homes, and make of us pilgrims upon the face of the earth?
Aye, but I am an Englishman. We had looked upon with joy upon our immigration to America, because I had hoped we would once again live under British rule.
Many of our company have felt the same, but if we cannot go except under the Dutch flag, still we must go.
Aye.
The hand of Jehovah leads us, we must follow.
So the offer of the Dutch West India Company was received, and in due course of time, the provisions were put into writing. The Pilgrim Company discussed the offer from every angle. All of them would have preferred to settle under the British flag if it could have been arranged, but because more than 6 months had passed and they had not found anyone who could finance them, they felt that the Dutch offer should be accepted. Therefore, near the end of February 1620, Pastor Robinson and Elder Carver meet with Wilhelm Kieft to settle finally the matter of the emigration. Let us listen as they talk together.
2 ships and 1,000 pounds, which you can repay in 10 years.
And all your company demands is a monopoly in the fur trade.
That is all. Otherwise, you shall do what pleases you. But all of the fur must belong to the Dutch West India Company.
That seems just. What think you, Elder Carver?
Who shall govern us, Master Kieft?
You shall say that yourselves. Who governs you now?
We have no governor except the elders of the church.
It shall be the same in the New World.
Do the terms satisfy you, Pastor Robinson?
Indeed, I am more than satisfied.
Then shall we sign the articles?
I can think of nothing more we should consider. Can you, Elder?
Nothing.
Then, if you have a quill, we can sign now.
Your pardon, someone knocks.
I'll see who it is.
Thank you, Elder. Ah, here's the quill. Now where is the inkhorn? Yes, here.
Sign here.
Let us wait for Elder Carver.
Pastor Robinson.
Yes?
Your pardon, sir. Will you come here at once?
What is it?
Thomas Weston of London desires to see you.
Can't we not finish our business first?
Tell him to come in and sit down while we get this business finished.
Will you come in, Master Weston?
Thank you.
Have I the honor of addressing Master Robinson?
I'm Robinson.
I'm Thomas Weston, and I have come on behalf of a company of London merchants.
Master Robinson, your pardon, but may we not finish this business at hand?
Certainly. Elder Carver, Master Kieft is waiting for us to sign the Articles of Emigration.
Your pardon, Master Robinson. Did you say Articles of Emigration?
Why, yes.
I have an offer to make you for the emigration of your company.
What?
Indeed.
I must insist, sir.
One moment, Master Kieft.
Are you going to sign or not?
Master Kieft, this may cause us to change our plans. We must consider. What is your offer, Master Weston?
A company of 7 London merchants has agreed to furnish ships and capital to carry you and your people to America.
You have already agreed with me.
We have signed nothing yet. Where, Master Weston, does your company propose that we settle?
In northern Virginia, between the Great South River and the Great North River.
That, sir, is the land of the Dutch West India Company.
Your pardon, but King James has decreed that...
I care not what your sovereign may have decreed. He has no claim to that land. My company discovered and explored it.
Has your company established any plantations there?
That makes no difference.
Until you have established plantations, you cannot claim it.
I do not wish to argue with you, sir. I am here to close this business with you, Master Robinson. I am waiting.
We must have time to consider.
I had your word.
Master Kieft, the situation has changed. We are Englishmen, and if we can emigrate under our own flag, cannot blame us for preferring it to another.
You have tricked us. You are not treating me fairly.
Now, sir.
And I warn you, if you go to our land under the British flag, you shall regret it, sir. You shall regret it. Good day.
Thus the Pilgrims incurred the enmity of the Dutch West India Company, and though the terms of the London merchants were not so generous as those offered by the Dutch Company, the Pilgrims accepted them and set about making their preparations for the great adventure. They secured for their voyage 2 ships, the Speedwell and the Mayflower. Our next scene is early in July of 1620. The Mayflower has been engaged for the voyage and is lying at anchor in the Thames River off London, where it is undergoing some repairs preparatory to taking on cargo, which is to come to the New World. Aboard the ship is only the master, Captain Jones, when he is disturbed by...
Ahoy, the Mayflower!
Ahoy! Who's hailing the Mayflower?
Here, alongside. May I come aboard?
What do you want?
I want to talk to the master of the ship.
I'm master. What do you want?
May I come aboard?
Come aboard. The ladder's over the side.
All right, I'm coming. Keep the boat alongside.
Aye, aye, sir.
Stay here until I'm ready to leave.
Aye, aye, sir.
Here you are. Right up here, sir. Give me your hand. Ah, there you are, sir.
Thank you, sir. Are you the master of the ship?
I am, sir.
I understand you are engaged for the voyage.
That we are, sir. To America.
Ah, yes. By a company of London merchants.
What's that to you, sir? Begging your pardon.
No matter. I know well enough you are. And now, sir, I want to know if you'd like to put yourself in the way of earning 100 pounds.
100? Lord, sir, who wouldn't?
Exactly. I hoped I'd find you a man of sense.
What do you want me to do?
You are sailing for Northern Virginia, are you not?
That's the orders.
Where do you expect to make land?
I was looking to make it in the mouth of the Great North River.
You know, I suppose, that the Dutch West India Company claims all the land bordering on the Great North River.
Why, sir, everybody claims it. It's no matter. King James has proclaimed that all the land that has been settled belongs to them that has settled it, and the rest is anybody's. When the company I'm taking gets their plantations settled, the Dutch can't claim the land any longer.
Perhaps not, but your company is not going to land on Dutch territory.
Eh?
You are going to lose your bearings.
Me, a sailor, lose my bearings?
Certainly, for 100 pounds.
Well...
And you will make land far to the north of the Great North River.
I'll have to see the color of the money.
Is it a bargain?
Have you got the money with you?
I have, and on your promise, I'll pay it.
All right. I'll see that the company is landed where you wish.
Good.
And so Captain Jones of the Mayflower was bribed by Dutch gold to play false with the band of Pilgrims. You know the story of the long and difficult job the Pilgrims had in getting fairly started on their voyage. The Speedwell sprang a leak, and they had to put back to Plymouth Harbor where the ship was repaired. They made a second start, and again the Speedwell became unseaworthy and the captain refused to go on. So a second time the little flotilla put back to Plymouth. This time, since the season was far advanced and the Pilgrims feared that winter would be upon them before they could get established in their new home, the Speedwell was left behind, and on September 16th, 1620, the Mayflower left alone for the New World. Halfway across the ocean, the ship was beset by a long series of storms, so severe that it took more than 2 months for the ship to make the trip across the Atlantic. At last, on the morning of November 20th, 1620, the ship's company were awakened by the electric cry of,
Land ho! Land! Land ho!
Where away?
2 points off the starboard bow.
Land? Really?
Captain,
Aye, we've made land. Helmsman, bring the ship to bear on land, dead ahead.
Aye, aye, sir. Land dead ahead.
Ah, Captain Jones, at last.
Aye, at last. Land
Oh,
ahead.
praise Jehovah.
Amen.
praise Jehovah.
Captain, tell us, is this Virginia that lies before us?
I know not. I've not yet taken our bearings.
Do you not know where we are?
How should I? We've been tossed about in storms for a month, with no sun for days on end.
There's sun this morning. Can you not take your bearings now?
The mate is figuring our position even now.
Oh, good.
Captain Jones.
Aye, mate. Have you the position?
I made it, sir. About 70 west by 42 north.
42 north, but Captain, we're bound for 40 north. We're out of our course.
What do you expect with the storms we've had?
Put your ship about. Make for the south. This is not Virginia.
We'll land here.
We have no right to land here. Our charter grants us land in Virginia, not here.
I can't help that. The ship is in bad shape. I won't risk sailing her any farther without repairs.
Very well. You may stop here for repairs, but we must go on as soon as possible.
It will take some time.
My people will help you. We must speed the work.
Of course, I'll speed it all I can, but A man can't do any more than he can do.
Well, get on it at once. This very day. We must get away from here within a fortnight, or winter will be upon us.
Aye, so it will. And the winters in this country are bad.
Then we must start south without delay.
Look you, Master Carver.
Well, Captain?
Belikes 'twill be a month or more before I can make the Mayflower seaworthy.
A month? Oh, surely you can do better than that.
Perhaps not so well. Why don't you land here?
Here?
Aye, 'tis goodly country, full as rich as
Nay,
Virginia.
'tis not to be thought on. We have a patent to lands in Virginia, a charter to establish and rule a plantation there. But here, why, this land is not ours.
It is if you take it. It belongs to no one else.
But our council will have no rights under the king. Nay, we go to Virginia as soon as you have made your repairs.
So be it, Master Carver.
So the Mayflower brought up to anchor just inside Cape Cod, near the present village of Provincetown. The voyage had been long and arduous. There had been much sickness aboard, and Captain Jones knew that most of the passengers longed to set foot on solid ground and begin the task of building their homes. So he determined to create further dissatisfaction among them. For our next scene, we are going into Captain Jones's cabin just as one of the 5 men of the company, Peter Brown, had come into the cabin on the captain's invitation.
Sit you down, Mr. Brown, and find what comfort you can in my poor quarters.
Poor? If this cabin is poor, Captain, what do you call what us folks has to put up with? All crowded into the common cabin like sheep or worse.
Aye, 'tis too bad the cabin is not a better place for you goodly company.
Aye, well, we'll soon be out of it.
I fear me not so soon.
Indeed. Why?
The ship must be repaired before we can go on.
How long will that take you?
Mayhap 2 months or more. I know not.
2 months? 2 months more in the cabin of this ship, and half our company will be dead.
Aye, belikes they will, and winter will be upon us hard and heavy. The winters in this country are worse than any you have ever seen in England or Holland.
Indeed.
The snow lies so deep it would cover a man's head. The land is blotted out, and even the sea freezes.
Then how could we get ashore?
I know not.
And once ashore, how could we find a fair place to build our homes?
'Tis not for me to say.
Why can't we land right here, Captain?
Because your elder, Master Carver, says fix the ship and go on.
If Elder Carver says that, then there be naught that we can do.
You'd stay packed in the ship's cabin, facing sickness and death, rather than rise up like men and tell the elder what you will and what you won't do, eh?
Elder Carver and the 12 masters have the voice. We have naught to do but to obey.
Can it be that 40 English freemen can't vote down 12 masters?
Under our charter, the freemen have no voice.
Under the charter, eh?
Aye, so there's naught to do but what the masters say.
Have you never heard of mutiny?
Mutiny? Nay, we be lawful men, bound together in the love of Jehovah, will not mutiny. We must abide by our charter.
The charter, aye.
So there's naught to do but...
Hold! Have you thought on this? The charter binds you under the king's grant in Virginia plantation.
Aye.
And you're not in Virginia.
Nay, not yet.
So, you are not bound by the Virginia charter in these waters.
Forsooth, Captain, I'd not thought on that.
You have here all the rights of free-born Englishmen. And if you rise like men and demand that your elders hearken to your voice, who shall gainsay you?
I? Who? Who indeed? If we vote to land here, 'tis not mutiny.
Nay, 'tis but your right, if you want to land here.
We do. Not a man in the company but would stay here if he had his way.
Then have your way, like Englishmen. Go to your cabin, talk to the men of your company, and tell them what I've told you.
Aye, Captain, I will, at once.
Good. Well, Elder Carver, we shall see whose voice is stronger, yours or the voice of 40 English freemen.
Thus Captain Jones planted in the mind of one of the freemen of the Pilgrim Company an idea which he was sure would bear fruit before many hours. He watched the company as first one man and then another fell in with Peter Brown. He felt the temper of the company changing, but he still did not feel that mutiny was likely against the strong religious authority of the elders. And so, to bring the matter to a head, he asked Carver to come to his cabin. As the door closes, the captain begins.
I fear me, Master Carver, we are in a bad way.
Indeed. Why?
The carpenter has gone over the ship timber by timber.
Well?
It is a long, hard job we have before us.
Oh, too bad. Too bad. How long?
What with finding the proper timbers ashore and hewing them to fit our needs, I fear it may well be 2 months or more before we can leave these waters.
Oh, surely you can make what repairs are necessary in less time. You need not rebuild the ship.
Nay, but the ship is sprung in every seam. 'Tis nothing but good fortune that has kept it afloat so long.
The seams sprung?
Aye, all of them.
Then our stores are in danger of being ruined.
Aye, they are even now in such danger should they be unshipped.
Then we must do it. And set your crew to the work at once.
The crew has more than it can do to repair the ship and make it ready to sail on to Virginia, since you insist on going on.
Then I'll start our company to work on their stores. We must not let them be ruined.
Nay, you'll face starvation, for you can count on nothing from the land at this late date.
I'll gather the company together at once and set them to work.
Aye, do, Master Carver.
We must unship the stores. We'll begin at once.
Mayhap your company will have something to say to that, Master Carver.
So Carver gathered together his company in the common cabin, and standing before the stern-faced, storm-weary gathering, the elders spoke.
Men of the Pilgrim Company, as no doubt you are all well aware of by now, the land we made this morning with such joy and thanksgiving in our hearts is not the land of the Virginia plantation.
So we have heard.
But our ship is in sore distress from the buffeting of the storms, and Captain Jones must needs make repairs before we can sail on to our destination.
Oh, no.
I would it not so, for I know how weary you find yourselves after so many days upon the sea. But there's naught else to do.
Why can't we land here?
Nay, it cannot be. This is not Virginia. We have no patent to these lands. We must sail on. The captain and his crew shall make their repairs as soon as they can. But our stores in the hold, all of them in danger of spoiling. So we must needs unship them ourselves until such a time as we may sail away from here. So let every man prepare himself for work.
Master Carver, we are not able to work.
I know,
And more, 'Tis not our wish to stay aboard this ship longer.
But then do not else.
Aye, we can land here and find a goodly place to build our homes and prepare against the winter that will be down upon us long before we can get to Virginia.
Man, quite hard to me. We've no right under our charter to settle here.
Then tear up the charter.
Tear up the charter? Have no government name. We cannot do that.
We be freemen, Master Carver. We have a right to a voice in what we'll do and what we won't do. And we all want to land here, don't we, men?
But if we make our home here, we are all outside of the king's rule.
We'll rule ourselves. We be free-born Englishmen.
Mayhap, if that is your wish.
Aye.
It may be that for the best interest of the company and for the glory of Jehovah, I consent to your wishes.
Huzzah!
But it behooves us to enter into a compact, one with another, that no man may say, once we have landed in New England, that we have no law and cannot punish the disobedient.
May it please you, sir, we be more than willing for the masters to write a compact that all can sign, to be governed like any free-born Englishman, by the will of the majority.
Aye.
So be it. Let the masters of the company join me in my cabin, and we shall make a compact joining all the company of freemen into a body politic.
Huzzah!
And so, in the cabin of the Mayflower, the masters of the company, 12 in number, met in the first American Legislative Assembly and drew up one of the most famous documents in American history, the Mayflower Compact, which organized the first self-governing community, the New World.
The text of the Mayflower Compact. In the name of God, Amen. We whose names are underwritten, the loyal subjects of our dread sovereign, Lord King James, by the grace of God of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, King, Defender of the Faith, etc., having undertaken for the glory of God and advancement of the Christian faith and honor of our King and country, a voyage to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia, do by these presents solemnly and mutually in the presence of God and of one another, covenant and combine ourselves together in a civil body politic for our better ordering and preservation and furtherance of the ends aforesaid, and by virtue hereof the need to enact, constitute, and frame such just and equal laws, ordinances, acts, constitutions, and offices from time to time, as shall be thought most meet and convenient for the general good of the colony, unto which we promise all due submission and obedience. In witness whereof we have here under subscribed our names at Cape Cod, the 11th of November, in the year of the reign of our sovereign Lord King James of England, France, and Ireland, the 18th, and of Scotland, the 54th, Anno Domini 1620.
Northwest Arkansas Audio Theater would like to thank our actors, A. Harden, Judy Dunleavy, Marshall Prettyman, Scott Anderson, Laurie Anderson, and Eden Miller. We would like to wish all of you heartily a happy Thanksgiving on the occasion of the 400th anniversary of the landing of the Pilgrims.